Well, I don't think necessarily that there's many people terrified of a strong woman. I think we're very much used to that now in this country. But the interesting thing is that, as you say, they want privacy, and yet they're desperately trying to be on the front pages all the time. I think mostly their picture has been mocked. Otherwise, people are very angry. They've mocked because it seems so phony and artificial. We don't really like the way Harry is always sort of trailing behind like a good puppy dog. I think that's really what we feel. And people have had a great fun making pictures on top of this picture. They've put a dog's face, they've put all sorts of things. They've had songs, whereas I Want to Be Free, that Harry's singing in the few seconds that the thing goes by. I think it's a disaster, really. Actually, from my point of view, to say they're the most influential people in the world when you miss out totally the value of family, both sides, Harry's and especially and Meghan's. And also you don't have any family values. It's all about me, me, me. I can't see how that can be a positive way to go forward. The person who put them up to this is actually the owner of Time magazine. He also is the CEO of a company that Harry works for, helping them out with mental health issues, which is all very good, obviously. So it was a favoritism. Other people believe that the couple paid $1.5 million to get on the front page. And they've also spent a huge amount of money on clothes and makeup and hair. I mean, it's too manipulated, actually, to have much power. I think most of us in the end will laugh at it. And Harry's popularity, which was incredibly high. I wrote his biography in 2018, and he was absolutely the royal everybody liked around the world. And it's gone zooming down.
Yeah, you're certainly right.
I just think it's very sad.
Tell me, how is the royal family taking all of this, especially given that Oprah interview they gave was an absolute scandal, a disaster for the royal family?
Yes, it was a disaster. A lot of it was because there were about 17 lies in there. The big one was that they'd married 3 days before the actual wedding was due to take place, which put the Archbishop of Canterbury into a terrible situation because he had to come forward and say, no, that wasn't true. I would have been a criminal if I'd have done that because I couldn't marry the same couple twice in a week, and we needed 2 witnesses. So that went down like a bombshell. And also the criticism of Prince Charles, Prince Harry's father, who might not be the best father in the world, but he does his best and he loves Harry. And he enjoyed Meghan's company. He welcomed her. He was happy to talk to people who loved the arts and the theatre and art and music. So I think they've been extremely cruel, and the nasty comments they've made about Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, that was extremely unkind. So it's upset everybody, and I think this pretentious picture of them will upset them more, but they've come to getting used to it now because this is how they are. They're very competitive. Well, Meghan is, and Harry does what Meghan wants, and they just compete. And I think they're trying desperately to have a whole different sort of royal family in California. I think they would be very happy to bring down the royal family in the UK, just because I think they're very resentful as to how their life was, which, as you compare it to anybody else's, was luxurious, had some disadvantages, but overall, they were very lucky people.
They were. And Angela, they're both now advocating themselves as humanitarians, just like Princess Di. Do you see any kind of resemblance here at all?
Well, Prince Harry told me he felt Diana was still looking down on him and guiding him as to what charities to do and how to behave, and that she could foretell that they would leave, and she was very happy about this. But really, I don't think they are. very good philanthropists, they lecture us rather than telling us what to do. And within the lecture, they say, no, you mustn't take flights and you mustn't do this. But they don't think that any of it applies to them. Harry stood out and made a big speech about the problems with climate change. And the next day he was off in a huge private plane to play golf, a game miles away. So it's all very pick and choose what they like and how they behave.
And tell me, how are they seen by the general public there in the UK?
Well, mostly they are completely disapproved of. They're seen as terrible hypocrites for this, you do as I tell you, not as I do. And they think Meghan's grabbing for money. And really, you can see right through her that that's what she wanted all the time. She's used us, and we don't really like it.